Hello everybody and welcome to the Jurassic World Evolution live stream. My name's Ed, part of the community management team here at Frontier Development, and I'm joined by a very, very special guest for a very, very special live stream. Hello everybody. By the way, look at all the people in the chat. But anyway, before we look at the people in the chat, let's introduce our special guest here. I'm joined by executive producer Richard Newbold. How are you, Rich?
Very well, Ed. And yourself?
10 out of 10.
I'm very excited for you.
10 out of 10. No, I am. Seriously, this is actually really super exciting because, of course, we've been looking forward to telling you all about the 1.4 update, the free update coming to all owners of Jurassic World Evolution. It is absolutely packed full of stuff, and we're going to be telling you and showing it to you, telling you about it and showing it to you. I'm just tripping over my own words out of excitement.
So excited.
So it should be a really fun night. So thank you so much for coming along. We're going to be trying to look at the chat and trying to read some things, but do keep in mind it is moving very quickly for us. But Rich, how has it been? First of all, since the launch of Jurassic World, you and I had the pleasure of doing the premiere together. That first live stream, which was a lot of fun, and then we were all out at E3 having just an awesome time. But since then, obviously, how useful has it been getting feedback from the community?
It's been great. It's great to see such a community that's very passionate about the game and Jurassic and making a dinosaur game that's incredible. And it's great to see that, and it's great to get their feedback and see it every day and see what they're excited about and what they want to see, and that helps guide us in some of the decisions that we make on the development side about what we want to work on in the future as well. So we kind of see it as a collaborative thing. Everyone that's so passionate about something, pulling as much as we can in the right direction.
Very good. And I think that, again, like I said, it's also a note on wanting to be able to communicate to you everything all at once, straight away. But also, it's important that we make sure that we have the right information ready. And I know that Bo and Will and Paul and Paige have been doing an amazing job, and Brett, amazing job communicating with you guys as much as possible. But we have to make sure that information is right and correct and ready to deliver, so then when it comes out for you, it is, right, correct and ready to deliver.
Yeah.
And tonight we've got that. So we're going to be showing some stuff off. One of those things that we had to wait to communicate was about the dinosaur sizes. And it's kind of the first thing that we're going to be touching on tonight because, of course, oh no, it isn't. It isn't the first thing.
Did you forget the key?
I forgot the key thing. I forgot the key points.
We're so excited to get through the details.
The content. Which is, of course, the release date of the free 1.4 update for Jurassic World Evolution, available again to everybody who owns Jurassic World Evolution. And the release date for that, it's only 2 weeks away on September the 13th.
That's right. It's not far.
Not far at all. So everybody will be getting this just automatically update their game?
Yeah, we should do. Yeah, I think that's how all the platforms work. We put it on the platforms and
that's it. It's easy, that, isn't it?
It's easy.
You just press the go button and just pop it down the line. It just goes and it uploads to your game. So September the 13th, which is only 2 weeks away for the 1.4 update, which is super exciting. So what is in the 1.4 update? Something we've covered already is dinosaur sizes. We've listened to the community. We saw that you weren't happy with some of the sizes of the dinosaurs, and we went, well, what can we do? So what did we do?
So we looked into resizing 4 dinosaurs, and the technical side, it's been very challenging. Video games are really hard to make these days. They are.
No, I wasn't shaking my head to say that I disagree with you.
And I wasn't disagreeing with your shaking. I was just
reaffirming.
So we had a lot of technical challenges when we tackled these, and we wanted to make sure that what we're doing were the right things to be doing, and making sure that changes that we made impacted upon the players in a positive way, and we didn't have any negative things. And it's a big part of video games, is making sure that you're making the right decisions and mitigating the risk. My boring bit is mitigating risk, but you don't care about my boring job.
I sort of do. I'm sure people do. I care about your boring job.
Thanks, Ed. We have it's 4 dinosaurs. We have 4 dinosaurs. Okay. So the first one, we want to go into some details, the Ceratosaurus. So we have some really handy, useful images to show you visually the changes that we're making. So the Ceratosaurus, I apologise for my pronunciation, is coming down slightly. So you can see the new version is slightly smaller. So when we looked at the dinosaurs, the carnivores especially, which have been ones that you guys have been most passionate about, we wanted to make sure that we didn't just change one and then have a knock-on on all the rest. And we wanted them to fit as like a family of carnivores as well. So We changed the Ceratosaurus to make it a bit smaller, so it might fit better as a sequence with some of the other ones.
So the blue being the foot, as you can see by the key in the top right, the blue being the new scale.
Yep.
And the old scale being the sort of the outline.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we went to the Tyrannosaur, which has also come down very slightly, and that's just to give it a bit of balance with the Ceratosaurus. And then we've definitely made some changes to the
This one's quite
the
surprising.
Giganotosaurus. I always struggle with pronunciation.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll be corrected in the chat.
It's because I'm.
Look at the difference in that.
So we have increased this one pretty bigly. Some people might say it's definitely gone a lot bigger. So it fits in with the size of the T-Rex and the Ceratosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus. And also the big key one is the Spinosaurus. So that was the one that we kind of started on first because that's the one that kind of needed to come up, and then the other ones kind of got changed as well. And when we change a dinosaur model, part of the technical part is that any change we make to this model affects a large number of things, which is why it's been a very difficult thing for us to do, because that will change things like every fight animation needs double checking, and obviously each dinosaur can interact with various other dinosaurs, or the hunts, the terrain types they're on, how fast they move, the sound effects, because we want to make sure that if we make a dinosaur bigger or smaller, that they're sound appropriate, because it might be a bit weird. And also things like the way they speed, the way they move. If you make a dinosaur bigger and make it run, it might look a bit weird with the steps. So we had to do that. We had to make sure the VFX. So video games are very complex. We have lots of different departments all trying to work together. So any of these changes we had to make a big thing. So one of the big key things is about how these dinosaurs fight as well, and that's been one of the not the symptoms, but one of the ways it's more evident. So this is a nice comparison, but we've got some images that show you how the fights work. So now you can see that the Tyrannosaur and the Giganotosaurus are now more equivalent in their sizes, so that make it more appropriate, which is some of the feedback you guys have had. And we've also made the fight between the Tyrannosaur and the Spinosaur, so the Spinosaur is now bigger. So it kind of matches some of the feedback that we've had about you guys from the lovely community about how these things will work together.
Yeah, and as you've mentioned a couple of times there as well, clearly it's not as easy as just pressing a button to make it big. There's a lot of different things that had to be taken into consideration, and that's why it took us a while to get that information out there and get that communicated to you. But as always, we listened and we wanted to show that. We wanted to show that Frontier is dedicated to actually helping out its communities and taking that information. It just takes us a while to make sure it's right before we tell you, in case we get it wrong, and so on. But thank you for all that. There's lots of people saying that. I don't know what that means. You can stop saying exclamation mark claim, because it means nothing right now to us. We haven't done anything, but that's cool. We'll take it as a positive thing. So thanks for saying that. So Rich,
it's not just the dinosaur scaling that we've made some adjustments to on the dinosaurs.
Okay, but you're looking at me as if this is a bad thing that you're about to say.
No, because it felt like you were ready to move on to something.
No. I was sorry. No, carry on.
We have made some changes to their hunt behaviours as well. So now dinosaurs will only really hunt when they're hungry. So your carnivores, especially, will now be less murderous, vindictive, evil beings on the whole, except for the murderous, vindictive, evil beings such as the Indoraptor and the Indominus Rex, who will discriminately just mercilessly kill everything. I'm using a lot of big words there. We've also made some changes to the way the dinosaurs assess their enclosures. So now they will check the things that they're around much faster. So if you're making changes to the terrain, adding water, trees, things like that, making your enclosures bigger, the dinosaurs will notice that faster. So beforehand there was a bit of delay. It's just a boring technical thing because of how frequently you can ask things in games to check that kind of stuff. But we've done some optimizations so that we can now increase that rate. And we've also changed the way they assess space around them. So if they're in a corner of an enclosure, there's now a better way for them to check how close they are to things behind them. So it now means that when you're building your enclosures, the dinosaurs should be more receptive and more appropriate to the things that you're building and around them. So you should find them less picky or less twitchy about the things that they're in. So that should hopefully, which was some good feedback we have from the community, that it just wasn't quite right for them. We've been working on it, and we've also done some other things to some of the dinosaur behaviours, but I don't want to give some of those all away.
Okay, are we going to... oh, right, okay.
Sure. So some of those will come up later on.
Okay, so we've got some more to cover later on. So that is just the dinosaur sizes. Well, just a couple of the dinosaur behaviours.
Because it's a game about dinosaurs. They are
Very, very important, yeah, and they will be coming into the game in 1.4 in the free update, which is coming on check the date, September the 13th. September the 13th, which is not far away at all for the 1.4 update. So, there's more content coming. It's not just resizing the dinosaurs. But before we do that, before we move on, what I want to do is a little giveaway. So we had a lot of people in the chat there saying, exclamation claim, do not say that. What would you want them to say? And then I'm going to pick at random a winner using some very modern technology to randomly pick from the chat. But we're going to pick at random someone to win. So what would you like people in the chat to say, beginning with a hashtag so I can search for it?
I'm going to go with merciless killing beings.
Merciless killing beings. All one word. Hashtag merciless killing beings. All one word. Somebody's already jumped in there, which is fantastic.
Sorry for those. It's a fairly long one. My next one will be a lot shorter.
It's going to be... So once you said it once, do not say it again, because you will be chosen at random, and we're going to be doing it in just about 1 minute's time, picking the draw as well, and I'll read it out. Oh, and the competition, of course, is to win a copy of Jurassic World Evolution. Wow. So if you already own it, then you can pass it on to a friend. If you don't already own it, well, then it's your lucky evening, isn't it? All right, so before we move on to talking about the real...
this isn't all of 1.4.
This is all 1.4, but I mean...
This is not just it.
No, there's lots to cover, so we will get onto that, hopefully be able to finish it within the hour. I'm sure we will. Rich... Tell me, we talked a little bit about it at the intro, but just for those who have just arrived as well, talk about a little bit again about the importance of receiving positive and constructive feedback from the community.
It's really important. We're all, in the office, we all work really hard on this game, and we're all trying our best to make this game as great as possible. And it's great to have feedback that is really positive and allows us to work collaboratively on what we're trying to achieve with Jurassic World Evolution. So, making sure as best as it can be. And in the office, we can't. We try our best to do that, and there are some things that we want to do that, for technical reasons or for boring production reasons, that we can't do because of time. And sometimes your feedback falls into that bucket. But a lot of the time, we use the feedback that you give to help move our direction and help us move forward and come up with some ideas that we didn't think of ourselves, because you guys have a much bigger pool of people than us in the office, and it helps us guide what we're going to move towards next or what things to prioritise. And it's great to get it. It really is, but especially when it's really positive and constructive and makes us smile. And if we've got, and we love seeing things like the screenshots as well. They all still make us smile. Some of the things I've seen on the subreddit recently have been so amazing. Some of the screenshots with the goats and the dinosaurs.
Something that that isn't making me smile right now is the fact that thousands of people are shouting "merciless killing beings" at us, which I thought was a strange one to choose, actually. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We picked a winner. We picked a winner.
Get that. Penny did not drop.
The randomly chosen winner is Sweet Pastel Bunny. All one word. Sweet Pastel Bunny is a merciless killing being. And you have won yourself a copy of Jurassic World Evolution. We will be in touch with you. We'll have our moderators get in touch with you through Twitch. Through this account on here. So well done, Merciless Killing Bunny. Well done, Sweet Pastel Bunny. We will do another giveaway towards the end, but we will be in touch and reach out to you to make sure that copy comes your way. So let's talk about everything else that's coming with the free 1.4.
We have been working very hard since the film content pack went out in mid-June.
Yeah, wow. With 5 dinosaurs.
With 5 dinosaurs. That was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Time flown.
Yeah,
we've been very busy. So one of the big things that we're adding to 1.4 is a brand new game mode. Brand new game mode called Challenge Mode. So inside Challenge Mode, it's a new way of playing Jurassic World Evolution. It's just a great new way of playing the island. So you'll get given Isla Nublar, which is the sandbox mode, the sandbox level, but you can now play it in challenge mode. You start out with nothing, and then as you progress through it, you're trying to build a 5-star rating, and as you're doing that, you're trying to racing against the clock to try and do a 5-star rating as fast as possible. We have different difficulty settings. We have some tweaks to some of the game mechanics. So you want to.
Yeah, talk us through these, because we'll jump into the game in a little bit, and you can talk about it in detail when we're.
Yeah, so this is hard difficulty. So inside that, you're going to have a smaller amount of money to begin with. We're making it so that dinosaur difficulty can be a lot harder. We make it so that you have more calamity, more Hammond Foundation fees. So these are mechanics. These are levers for us to make it harder for you. So your aim is still to build 5 stars as fast as possible. We've kind of seen it in the office as like a time trial. So we've created some par times. We call them par times, like with a golfing analogy. So we've come up with some times for each difficulty that you're trying to aim to beat. And the game will then track your personal best. And some of the difficulty levels have unlocks. So if you 5-star Jurassic, which is the hardest difficulty, you'll get a new skin for your Indominus Rex. And it's just been a great new way for us to play the game. And for me, I love challenge modes. They're definitely the kind of mechanic that I really enjoy playing. So you'll get given contracts to complete, and then we're going to add a lot more things to make it a bit harder.
Excellent stuff. So we've got the game up and running. So let's just go through. And I think you've got a couple of things to talk through. What the goal is. Those kinds of things. Oh wait, one second. Bear with me one moment. Just while we get the. Okay, there you go. Yeah, we're in game.
So in challenge mode, you start out with Isla Nublar, which is the sandbox level, and you get given 3 contracts. So we've made a slight change to the contract system in challenge mode. So you won't get a choice about which contract you get. It will be foisted upon you, but there'll be penalties for declining, for cancelling a contract. And there's also a new mechanic we're calling Hammond Foundation fees. Sorry, I forgot to build last time.
While you're talking, I can do that if you wish.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
So there's changes to the contract. So diseases will be
concentrating on the speaking, and
I'll concentrate on the speaking. And so the cancellation fees. So these 3 contracts that you have on screen, you can't decline these when they're given to you, but you can cancel them at any point. And if you do that, you'll get a big penalty. You need to be completing these contracts because over time, your reputation with each division will decline. So if you're not constantly keeping your contracts being completed, your reputation might drop, and that will increase the amount of sabotage, which on some of the later difficulties can be really challenging. You might have seen it in the notification, we've added a new mechanic called a Hammond Foundation fee. So in the main game, at some points you might have noticed that you had a lot of money, so which meant that when you had a calamity, it was really easy to deal with. In challenge mode, as you unlock 1, 2, 3 stars, these foundation fees get higher and higher, which means the amount of money you have as your disposable income to deal with things is going to get less and less. So think of it like rent or something like that. It's just going to get harder and harder. And so we've added new things like, so there's some new achievements for this mode. We've added some lighting presets to it as well, so you can change the lighting in here. And we've made some other tweaks as well.
Should I show that now, or are we going to have a look at that later on?
Let's talk about that when we talk about some sandbox changes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
So you can say it's a brand new slate. You start again. When you start it, you get everything available to you as you had on the first island. So at this level, at no stars, you'll have everything unlocked as you would have done on, say, starting Matt and Seros from the beginning. When you reach 1 star, you get everything as though you've got the second island unlocked. So we've kind of condensed all of the progression and the metrics from progressing through all the 5 deaths of the main game into a single island, but converted that to star ratings.
Okay, sorry, I'm just playing that.
No, that's fine. So as you can see in this map, there's a timer at the top that shows how fast you're going.
I see, yeah.
And then we've got par times on some of the menus that tell you how fast you should be trying to complete this difficulty in. And then we keep track of your personal best, so that the next time, if you complete medium in 3 hours or something, you can try and do it a bit faster.
Okay. Great. So overall, my sort of main goal, as it were, is to just essentially get the 5-star on the island as fast as I can.
As fast as you can.
And can we talk through a little bit about the difficulties as well again, so the difficulty levels?
So we have 4 difficulty levels. There's easy, medium, hard and Jurassic. Jurassic is really punishing and has been one that's causing a lot of fun in the office as we try our best to complete it at all, never mind try and do it in 5 stars as fast as we can.
That's not a way to put that down. I'm doing it quickly.
Medium and hard are my kind of walk in the park. They're a lot more my pace. But as we've been great to just use these as competitions in the office, and we think it's a great thing for the community to be using to drive community and competition as well, because all of you trying to beat these difficulty modes as fast as you can and sharing what your personal bests are.
Excellent stuff. Okay, I mean we will move on as soon as we're ready to, because I think the challenge mode, the largest part of it comes in the engaging with it themselves. People.
We think it's a lot of hours of gameplay, and we're putting hours of it into the office as we compete. We have an in-office competition about who can do it and whether they're doing it without cheating or not. And Jesus, so it's been a great thing. So do you want to talk about some of the lighting settings?
Yeah, sure. Would you want me to do that now?
Yeah. So in challenge mode, we can change the lighting settings, which is in gameplay. So we can change the lighting setting in challenge mode to be dusk, night, change as you would do it and as you would expect in Sandbox mode, which I'm going to move into Sandbox mode and show you some of the Sandbox settings we've made. That's my link. That was my link, my tenuous link.
No, it was not tenuous. It was very good. I liked it a lot. So
I'm just going to go back to the menus and just switch back to...
Great stuff. As you're doing that, if you have just joined us, hello and welcome to the Jurassic World Evolution live stream. We are showing off the free content that's coming in the free update for anybody who owns Jurassic World Evolution. The 1.4 update is what we're calling it, and it's coming up on the September the 13th. Free to anybody who owns Jurassic World Evolution already. There's plenty to get stuck into with it, including in a brand new challenge mode, which is a completely, as Witch was just talking about, completely new way of playing the game, and also incredibly challenging, I'm told. As somebody, myself, who, I love getting this in. I've got the Platinum Trophy on the PlayStation version of the game, which means I've done absolutely everything that's in the game. Am I going to be challenged by that? By the Jurassic
I think
content?
The Jurassic difficulty setting is definitely one that's aimed for you as a
top level player.
Yeah, I mean it's uncomfortable when we're in the queue in the kitchen and you're like, oh, I've got a platinum.
That's just why I walk around.
Hey guys, I'm Ed Lewis.
Exciting
community
for experienced players.
Platinum of Jurassic World Evolution.
Yeah, and as Auditore 92 says, challenge mode look exciting for experienced players, which is great.
But if it's just a different way of playing. If you're want to from the progression or the narrative of the game, it's sort of building the Jurassic World Evolution parks in a new way, and we're trying to improve a lot of the other mechanics in the game as well to go alongside that. So I'm in my Sandbox, Ed, which is the same island, which is Isla Nublar.
It's a strange one.
I got
whoever built this one is it's a nice little lake area.
Yeah, it's
nice for your dinos.
It's very wet.
Sure.
And we talked about some of the lighting settings, and even though this is Sandbox, what we've added is the lighting settings that you get in Sandbox and Challenge mode. So, if you go Settings, Gameplay, and you can change the island lighting. We've actually added these as unlocks for the campaign levels as well. So if you 5-star the islands in campaign mode, you can now change the lighting in those levels. So you could have Matt and Seros at night.
Or any of them.
Any of them. You can change them to be
nighttime one to daytime with Penna.
Yeah, you can have that in the day. So we've added the lighting settings that
very cool
across all the islands to allow you to kind of see them in a new way. So I've changed this one to dusk.
Which is so it's the islands that you've seen and spent a lot of time in. You can change it.
And it really means how different they feel when you can change the lighting.
It does.
Like when I put Matt and Zeros into night, which is the first level, but it's one I've played a fair number of times, it's amazing how different it feels. And as well as adding lighting settings to the campaign levels, we've added a lot of Sandbox settings that a lot of the community have been asking for. So a lot of you want Sandbox in a certain way, want different ways, so we're adding some more toggles to the game. So we call them toggles.
Talk us through the toggles.
My toggles. So, I'm trying to remember which ones are the new ones, which ones we already had. So, Dinosaur lifespan. We can now make it normal, we can make it limited. They can live forever.
Dinosaurs live forever in my heart always, but
not only did we give you a toggle to make them unlimited, across the game, dinosaurs will now live longer by default.
That's good.
So there was again some good feedback we had from the community that we found that the dinosaurs were, even with the genetic engineering, were dying a bit too fast. We had a word with Dr. Wu.
Oh, thank you for talking to him. He's difficult to reach.
I got on the blower. I went, Henry.
Oh, that's all you have to do is just call him.
Yeah, Henry, my old mucker.
Henry, me old mucker. If you aren't from Yorkshire in England, you might not understand that reference.
You're right,
so carry on. So we increase across the game, regardless, even in the main game.
They're just by default just longer.
Challenge mode, they're now lasting a bit longer.
They're lasting a bit longer.
We did receive that feedback. Quite a lot of people wanted them to last longer. But now, if you want to make your perfect park, you are able to do that without having to worry about these things.
Yeah, so in Sandbox mode,
is super exciting.
They're immortal. It's like you could essentially do the Highlander with dinosaurs now. Okay.
Again, another reference. That, I mean, look, people. Sure,
we're full of really old references. Kids, ask your parents.
Moving on, Rich Newell. All right, next one.
Contracts. So when we first put in Sandbox mode, we didn't want any contracts. But we had some good feedback that you wanted to play Sandbox, but with some contracts on. So you can now turn them on.
Lovely.
So you'll now get contracts from the division heads to help guide your Sandbox. Cash. Unlimited cash. Some people validly didn't want unlimited cash. They wanted to have zero cash, or low, or medium, or high amounts of cash.
Okay.
Okay. I know that this is as content goes. Me going down menus, going left and right is going to be awful.
People in the chat, we can read what you're saying, and we really appreciate all of your feedback. I think so far I've seemed very pleased, especially with the dinosaur sizes. Challenge mode, people seem interested about it as well. But also, all of these options, these are the things that people have been asking for quite some time. And remember that it's coming in a free update. So this is the first free update as well. So it's 1.4 coming on September the 13th. And it's entirely free for, if you already own it, you're going to get all of this for free. It's just going to update into your game, nice and easy. Thank you guys, says Dean. Exactly. Put some nice thank yous in for the devs because they do work hard at this.
So we've added the difficulty settings that we're using in challenge mode, which we kind of use to make it harder for you in challenge mode, whether it's making it harder for money or increasing your guest count, dinosaur ratings. We've moved those into Sandbox, some of those into Sandbox mode for you as well. Feeders. We had some feedback that you found the feeders a bit of a chore towards some of the bigger parks. So now in Sandbox mode, you can make them infinite feeders. And this is my favourite named setting in. It's not just. It's not
unlimited.
It's not power. How would you want your power? Unlimited
power.
Which means.
Oh, I like my power.
So I like my power. Which means when in your park, so you can see in my park, there's not a single power station.
Very nice.
Because I have unlimited power.
Palpatine does this game, so it's cool, man. Excellent.
I got that reference. With his Star Wars tattoos. We had some really good feedback from the community about how to make Sandbox mode better, and we put in, when we released the game, some of the options that we thought were suitable for Sandbox mode, and we had some great feedback saying, can we have some more? So we've done our best to give you as much as we can. What was I going to talk about? I got distracted.
It's okay, you carry on. You got distracted by unlimited power, that's fine.
So Sandbox mode is a good way for us to demo some of these and talk about them. So we've made some changes to some of the contract types in the game as well. So we've added 6 new contract types that you might see in your game, whether it's we've kind of have it so that your dinosaur, you might get contracts so that you will have to force a fight between 2 dinosaurs and have one of the dinosaurs beat the other dinosaur. What this means in slightly layman terms is you might get a contract to genetically to create a Triceratops that can beat a T-Rex in a fight, or some of the other combinations. But you're going to have to use your genetic engineering to kind of make that happen. So you might need to engineer a Triceratops that's got a higher attack than a T-Rex, and vice versa. So there's going to be some new contract types for you to play with. That's one. We've added some guest shelter coverage and some dinosaur visibility contracts. We've also added some dinosaur rating contracts and profit income and overall attraction profit income contracts as well. So that means there's going to be hopefully some more variation in the contracts that the division heads will be giving you. We've also made a change to scale all the cash rewards that you get for those contracts. So if you get a contract to incubate a Indominus Rex, which is a fairly expensive dinosaur, the cash reward you get for that contract is more proportional and more appropriate. So no longer will that contract kind of feel like a bit like a chore. And we've done that to the building ones as well.
Excellent stuff. Sorry, I'm just building one.
Well, that's fine. I'm talking. You're building.
Carry on.
And one of the things that we had some good community feedback has been languages.
This is one that deserves almost a nice full screen of your face to tell them all about it.
So we are adding 2 new languages in the update for 1.4. So Korean and Italian. No, I have to check that. I already know that. I'm checking. Will be added as language options in the update as well. So you'll have text and VO for both of those languages. So we had some great feedback from the Italian players and our Korean players saying, "Can we have these languages in game?" And
yeah, so we thought, there were enough people asking, and we were like, that seems like the right thing to do. So there you go. So there's again lots of things to do, and we will try and summarise this in just a minute. We'll go back and going back through, look at all things, not in detail, but kind of. I'm going to test you, Rich, see if you can remember it all without your notes.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll do your best.
Do fine.
But are there a couple more things that you want to?
I have more improvements and fixes to the game that I want to talk about. If that's
Great.
okay.
That's absolutely fine. I'll carry on playing.
That's a lovely viewing gallery you've got, Ed. It'd be really useful.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice if you could click on the viewing gallery and see what they see from the viewing gallery.
Yeah, a bit like this. I can spend some time now seeing what people can see from the viewing gallery.
So
nice.
We've now added the option for you to be able to see the view from viewing galleries and viewing platforms and hotels as well. We've also made another change to the hotel. Hotels now have visibility cones. So you can now use, the hotels will now contribute to your dinosaur rating. So there's a visibility on them, and there's some folks on the balconies just chilling out. Because we had some great feedback that it was slightly strange that the hotels had no visibility because they have these massive windows and a rooftop. So we added that as some great feedback. And there's also
the monorails also have a viewing. We don't have an example of that right now.
We don't have an example. So we've added some options to the monorail and the gyrosphere as well. So there's now a first-person camera on the monorail train. So similar to the viewing galleries and the viewing platforms, you're going to be able to go first-person from the monorail train and see as that goes around from the view of the monorail.
Fantastic.
Ride cameras for gyrospheres as well. So you're going to be able to have a camera follow those ones as well. And I think that's the sound of Rich referring to his notes.
That's okay.
We've also made some improvements to photo mode, which makes it a lot easier for you to take dinosaur photos when they're far away. If a dinosaur's too close as well, try and make that. That was a bit of an issue where if you got too close, sometimes the photo mode photos, the photo wouldn't register, so we've made improvements to that as well. And my other dinosaur change that I forgot to mention earlier was we've added some new fights behaviours to them as well. So as they're fighting, they might do territorial fights. So if you're at a max social rating, so say you have 3 Ceratosauruses together.
You're doing a great job.
It's the nerves.
Don't be nervous.
The 3 of them, they might have a fight for like territory. So there won't be a full-fledged fight. It's a bit more of a posturing fights, so we're trying to make it more behaviours into the dinosaurs themselves and the way they hunt and the way they behave together as well.
Fantastic.
I have some more.
You have lots of more things to say. You do have lots of more things to say. Take your time.
We've added some options to cancel, which is a weird way to describe it. So you can cancel research, you can cancel incubation now. So if, like me, you accidentally incubate a dinosaur and go, actually, I don't want to do that one. I made a mistake. I have the receipt. It's within my 30 days.
Okay.
You can now cancel it. That's it. You can now do the same for research as well.
Great. It's worth mentioning as well that if anything does show up on screen that isn't that Rich and I aren't are surprised to see, this is a development build, as this is in the top right corner as well. So hot off the press, it isn't the build, it isn't the exact same build. Oh, I also don't think we mentioned that the dinosaur sizes in this build that we're playing here have not been implemented yet as well. So we will show off the screen sizes, the screenshots again, the dino sizes to demonstrate for those that have just turned up in just a moment. But this build doesn't have the dinosaur sizes in it, in case you've spotted it and gone, hold on, that looks the same. But I don't think there are actually any in here yet. Maybe there's a Ceratosaurus there, yeah. but that's the old style Ceratosaurus.
And we also did some changes to the gene splicer and the genetic engineering so that you can reset now. So if you've made lots of modifications to a genome and you want to go back to the vanilla T-Rex, is now an option that will allow you to do that, which is, for me, I find quite useful if I just want to
reset it all back to zero, then tweak around with it.
Yeah, if you're trying to create a dinosaur that you need to use in a fight or you need to use as food for sacrificial Struthiomimus, as it were. That's the technical term. We've also, there's a change that you might have seen in the expedition map earlier. We've added the genome percentage to the expedition map. So now when you're choosing your dig sites, you can actually see how much genome you had, which makes it a bit easier for you to pick your expedition map.
We're in Sandbox code, so I can't show that off right now, but
of course.
I'm sure people can believe you on that
and we've added some keyboard shortcut options as well. So for those people that like to use keyboards on their PC to quickly access all the menus, we've added that to the F key. So now there's F1 to F6 will open each one of the management tabs, and 1 to 6 on the numerical keyboard will open the subpages.
Excellent, thank you.
So it's just, thanks.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. You're welcome. This is just a small amount of the things we've done. Like we've done a lot of changes to the game to try and improve a lot of things as much as we can. I nearly forgot one that my friend Matthew Florians would have been very sad if I forgot to mention. The Spinosaurus Raw, she will now do the Jurassic Park 3 Raw.
Okay, excellent.
Which has been some great feedback from the community, and Matt, loves audio.
People are happy about that. Look how pleased people are about that.
So she will now play the Jurassic Park 3 Raw. They've done a lot of work on the Raws. I think that he said today there's 4 different Raws, and the one that he plays out of the hatcheries, there's the Jurassic Park 3 one.
Yeah, that's got the most excitement of all the of the live streams so far.
Even my Yorkshire rendition of ringing Dr. Henry Wood.
Yeah, even that. Yeah, which is great stuff.
So these are just some of the fixes we've done.
Great. Well, I think that's brilliant. Do you want? Is there any more that you want to talk about today? Like you say, lots of stuff that's kind of perhaps behind the scenes changes, improvements to performance, or those kinds of things.
So with various text and stability fixes have been made. Nothing I can really think of to call out, but we're trying to do changes across the board, across the audio, the gameplay, the design, the feel of the dinosaurs and they behave. The challenge mode has been such a big thing for us to add, and we've added so much fun playing it and making tweaks to it and balancing it that we've put a lot of care and attention into making sure that really adds a lot of longevity to the game and replayability as well. I've played medium on challenge mode a number of times now, whilst I might have only played through the main game a couple of times. But with the medium challenge mode, with the fact that you're going to get different contracts every time, and it will drive the way you're building it in different ways. And so there's some new unlocks and some achievements for you as well. We're just finding it so exciting to play.
Excellent. Yeah, and like you say, I can see here as well some of the menus that you'll see as well at the front of the game. An entirely new you'll be greeted with it as soon as you load up the game. So, do you want to do challenge mode or do you want to do campaign?
Yeah, it's an option. You'll get it unlocked straight from the get-go. So new players, if they start the game up on the 13th September for the first time, they'll have challenge mode. There's no need for you to have played the main game. So it might make Jurassic a bit easier if you have played the main game, so you know what's coming, whether it's tropical storm or more dinosaurs escaping. But yes, it's definitely a lot of fun, and we're really excited.
Great, yeah, absolutely. And I think there's, again, I want to talk through so in case you just arrived, we've of course adjusted some of the dinosaur sizes as well, which was something that the community does for
it's been a big challenge for us to do this, and a lot of work. And say the dinosaurs are such a key thing, and they affect so many different things in the game that we want to make sure that the work we're doing has had a bit of a knock on there.
as you can see some of the differences as well. A lot of the things that people sort of called out and pointed out as well were the sort of when in fighting you can clearly tell that the sizes weren't quite right. So we've made these handy little scales here to show of how they've been adjusted to sort of fit a little bit better with people's expectations of that. But yeah, thank you so much for coming along. And remember, guys, this is an entirely free update. So this is something that the team have been working really, really hard over the last 2 months to get out for you guys. That includes all this stuff, a brand new challenge mode, countless changes to Sandbox mode, meaning that you can create that perfect park that you've always wanted to create. The challenge mode especially I can't wait to get stuck in with that, because that just feels like it's going to give hours and hours and hours of gameplay for me. But obviously with some people, we couldn't fix absolutely everything that everyone wanted to fix, but of course you can't make, it's very difficult to make absolutely everybody happy. But I think what we've done here is try to hit as many of the different types of things that we can do to try to do a really nice, sizable, free content update for players of Jurassic World Evolution.
We tried to do as much as we can with the time we have, because there's only been a couple of months, and we tried to do fixes across the board to make tweaks to the gameplay and how it feels, and some of the bugs and issues that people have been having. But we're really happy with this update. It's going to be really exciting to see all the things. I'm looking forward to seeing people's personal best for Jurassic, just to see how they compare to the guys in the office.
Get those posted up online. I'm sure we'll run some sort of competition all about that. Oh, in fact, I'm receiving news now that yes, we will indeed be running a social competition which starts on September the 14th. So check out our social media channels and the forums as well for details on how to enter into that competition. But it starts on September the 14th, and it will involve the challenge mode. I'm sure there are some pretty spectacular prizes about that as well. I'm sure that I've got them written down somewhere as well, but I'll find that in just a minute. But anyway, thank you everybody so much for coming along. I think that's kind of all we've got time for today, Rich. Is there anything else that you kind of want to point out or talk about?
No, I don't want to give it all away. I think some of the fixes and things that we've done to the game, I don't want to give them away now. I kind of want to see how
people sort of respond to the update. That's great. There is one more thing we have to do, and that's give away a second copy of Jurassic World Evolution today. So what would you like people to say in the chat to win that copy?
So I think before we started, I saw a lot of things talking about a shirtless Ian Malcolm.
Okay.
Would that one be okay?
Sure, keep it safe for work. The shirtless Ian Malcolm's okay. Is that what you want to go for?
Let's go with that one.
Just hashtag shirtless Ian Malcolm, and we will pick.
Made me chuckle.
We will pick
when I saw it in the
something from shirtless Ian Malcolm. We'll pick at random, and somebody will win a copy of Jurassic World Evolution. But I want to say a huge thank you to everybody as well in the community, because obviously. At Frontier, we work with a few games. With Jurassic World Evolution, we were surprised and delighted to see that people were just as excited, if not more, about dinosaurs than coaster fans are about roller coasters, and spaceship fans are fans about spaceships. So for us, it was absolutely thrilling to welcome you guys into our community. Remember that we do lots of these live streams as well on twitch.tv/Frontier Developments. We do 3 live streams a week here. You can see, if you scroll down underneath this chat, underneath the screen, you can see our schedule down there. So please do come along and press follow and come and watch us do our Let's Plays. We'll often have developer guests on and things, and we have a lot of fun with our community. But also keep the feedback coming in as well. When this comes out on September the 13th, we do really want to hear from you. So jump into that Reddit, jump onto the forums, don't jump, just be kind of.
Do a little hop,
but gentle, a gentle walk, a little hop, whatever you want to do. Social media, and let us know what you think about the update, because we're always absolutely thrilled to hear it. As Rich said earlier on, constructive feedback is often the best way to get your message across to us. So keep that coming through, because it's massively, massively appreciated. Right, let's pick a winner. Okay, randomly chosen using our incredible modern technology. We have ourselves William Sith. William Sith is the winner. I think, could that be Will Smith hiding as William Sith, do you think? We can tell it's you, William Sith. All right, William Sith, one of our moderators will be in touch with you to get your details. Your details will only be used, of course, for this competition and for nothing else at all, but you will be sent a code for Jurassic World Evolution that you can either keep for yourself, give to your dog or your cat, or just a friend or family member. But please stop saying that now, because that's enough. But thank you so much for saying it. Look forward to it. It's only 2 weeks away. 1.4, gosh.
1.4.
As we said, it right all night, and then right at the end there, I didn't get it. Free
So
update
close.
for all Jurassic World Evolution players. And I'm just very, very excited to see what you guys do with the challenge mode as well. A whole new way to play Jurassic World Evolution, and I can't wait to see all your scores and everyone getting involved in the competition.
It's been so much fun playing it. It really has. It's made for people like me, and I think there's a lot of you guys, people like me out in the community, that will really have a lot of fun playing it this way, especially on some of the difficulties. Some of the harder difficulties are just crushing. The morale sapping, but they're great fun at the same time.
We'll probably end up doing a series on our Twitch channel over here as well, trying to beat the challenge mode. We've given away the free copy already. William Sith was the winner of the free copy. So thank you again, everybody, and thank you to all of the dev team. Thank you to everybody at home who's watching this, who's worked on the game as well, just like endlessly for the last couple of months to try and get this update out and ready. So it's massively appreciated, I'm sure, by the rest of the community. Put your love in the chat, everybody, as we leave. So thank you so much, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you.